leader T. Sri Kumar ji to give his word of wisdom to all of us. Sri Kumar.
Yes, sir. Respected Chairman of today's this joint discussion and conciliation proceedings, CLC Negi Saab, your deputies Joshi Saab and Guru Saab, and my colleagues from the federations and the Joint Secretary Establishment and OSP from MOD. It's a matter of great satisfaction that after our complaint to you, you have convened the meeting of the federations who have issued the strike notice to discuss about the issues of the employees of other than ordnance factories, that is DRDO, Navy, MES, EME, Air Force, DGQA, DGAQA and the depots under the Army Ordnance Corps. So, sir, 25th in the conciliation meeting, which was chaired by Deputy CLC Guru Saab, he has given a categorical advice to the Ministry of Defence, which all of us have agreed that on all these strike demands of the different directorates under the Ministry of Defence, there will be a meeting before 19th, and accordingly the decision was taken, okay, before 19th let us sit together. Now, as you have mentioned, the DJCM, the wing which is under the section which is under the Joint Secretary Establishment, who is the custodian of the JCM scheme and the federations and the unions, they have issued a instruction. One is to hold the JCM third level meetings, which is chaired by the head of the various directorates. And another instruction they have issued to hold the meetings of the additional meeting mechanism to be chaired by the joint secretaries. These two instructions they have issued, and this is a type of the routine instructions only. Our DJCM section has issued so many instructions like this in the past, but nobody bothers. That is the whole problem, and we don't have a mechanism in the Ministry of Defence to monitor whether their instructions are being seriously taken by their subordinate officers, their headquarters, their directorates, and are they working on that. Instruction is issued, the work is over. They also receive the instruction and give it to the staff available there. He will conveniently file it in the file, and the matter ends with that, and we have to go on crying. You must have listened to the emotional speech of our president, such a veteran trade union leader with a lot of pain in his heart. The way civilian employees are being treated by the Ministry of Defence, he has placed it before you. I don't want to elaborate that, but you have very patiently listened to Mr. Pathak, his feelings which has come from the bottom of the heart of a veteran. Now, sir, I wanted to emphasize here, there is always a confusion in the Ministry of Defence. हम लोग JCM meeting कर रहा है. You see, sir, JCM meeting is different, and the negotiation on a strike notice is different. There should not be a confusion on that. JCM meetings are based on the JCM scheme formulated by the Government of India. Strike or no strike under the JCM scheme, once in 3 months, regular meeting has to take place. You ask Ministry of Defence for the past 5 years or 10 years, how many departmental council JCM chaired by Defence Secretary has taken place? How many JCM third levels have taken place? Within 10 years, it will not be more than 5 or 6. Whereas every 3 months, you have to convene a meeting. So that also is completely diluted, and no meetings are taking place. Issues are being arbitrarily decided. Posts are abolished in MES, in Navy, and all army units. Blindly posts are being abolished. Employees, in spite of the assurance given by Joint Secretary Army to the federations that no worker, wherever the army units are closed, they will be adjusted at the local units itself. Nobody will be reverted. Nobody will be subjected to any financial loss. These are all written assurances given by the joint secretaries to the three federations. Nothing has been implemented. And in many of the army units taking advantage of this COVID-19 period, last meeting also I mentioned to Guru Sahib, like God Training Regimental Center is there in Kamchi, Nagpur. They are going on victimizing the civilians. 1 month he cannot go to his home. Under which law of this country, sir? 1 month they have to remain in the unit only, army unit, along with the soldiers. They will not be allowed to go out. After 1 month, he will be given 15 days compensatory off. And that 15 days he should remain in home quarantine. This is the situation in supply depots in Pune. This is the position in College of Military Engineering. This is the position with the Bombay Engineering Group. Any army units, if you see, this is the position. The civilians are being harassed like anything. And nobody listens. Nobody bothers for their grievances. And what should have been done? I am asking CLC, sir, when you are the CLC, you are our custodian, you are here to take care of our welfare. When a union gives a strike notice, and that too a recognized three federations at the national level give a strike notice, giving sufficient time for them. 6 weeks notice, because we have been declared as public utility service. 6 weeks time we have given for them. What is the minimum industrial democracy and courtesy expected from the government? They should have replied. These demands, these are all the action taken, these are all the progress reports. Any such letter has come from any one of these directorates? From MES, from EME, from AOC, from Air Force, from Navy, from DRDO, from DGQA? Any reply has come, sir. 6 weeks time is not a small time. Otherwise 14 days only notice has to be given. Now they have declared us as public utility service. We have given 6 weeks. No single response from any one of these 8 directorates under the MOD to whom we have served the strike notice. Number 1. Number 2. A meeting on the strike demand should have been, that was the practice in the ministry. Whenever a strike notice is given, there will be minimum 2 rounds of meeting. One at the level of the concerned joint secretaries, and finally if no settlement reached, the defense secretary being the chairman of the departmental council JCM, he is the custodian of the JCM, departmental council JCM, he is the chairman. Under his chairmanship the meeting will take place. And some settlement we will be able to reach, and then the industrial relation was maintained. But here, even after 6 weeks, on 7th September we have issued the strike notice that from 19th we will go for the strike. Not even a single letter. No, none of the joint secretaries responsible for these divisions under the Ministry of Defence. There are joint secretaries. Joint secretaries are there who are looking after MES, who are looking after EME, who are looking after Navy, and the Department of Defence Research and Development. They have got their own arrangement there. DG, HRD, Director of Personnel, all these officers are there. And Department of Defence Production, the Joint Secretary is responsible for ordnance factories, DGQA and DGAQA. And for AOC, Joint Secretary Air Force is there for Air Force civilians. Joint Secretary Navy is there for Navy civilians. Any one of these joint secretaries, whether they have convened a meeting with the federations on these strike demands, you can please ask the Ministry of Defence. Nobody has bothered for anything. Nobody has bothered even to respond. Apart from our joint secretary establishment, immediately after the 25th first conciliation, as I have told you, 2 instructions he has issued for convening the JCM 3 meeting and convening the meeting of the additional mechanism. But where is the meeting on the strike demands? Neither with the directorates, nor with at the level of joint secretary. So what we can do, what we can convince the workers, we are giving a strike notice. You will appreciate, sir, strike is the last weapon of the working class, which is recognized as a right in the Industrial Dispute Act. Why we go for that? Our president has told, Mr. Pathak has told, it is not that we are fancy in giving a strike notice. When all our efforts, all our representations are remaining unaddressed, and nobody bothers in the Ministry of Defence and the Directorates, then we are left with no other option than to take this last weapon in our hands. But even after that, it is so pathetic. The attitude is completely apathetic towards the federations and the workers. Why this attitude? Are we not in a democratic country? Are we not working under the framework of labour laws passed by the parliament? Are we not working under the ratification of ILO conventions, being a founder member of ILO? Why Ministry of Defence is exempted from all these rules, regulations, acts, ILO conventions? Are they exempted? And who will take care of these 4 lakh defence civilian employees? There are 12 lakh uniformed soldiers. They are taken care of. Their welfare is addressed to. They should be taken care of. As a citizen of this country, the poor soldiers, their interest has to be taken care of. But there also soldiers' interests are not taken care of. Officers are comfortable. But soldiers, they also equally suffer there. Okay, that is separate aspect. But I am a defence civilian employee. I am governed under labour laws of this country. I am governed under ILO convention. I am governed under various instructions issued by the Department of Personnel about the functioning of JCM and industrial relations. Otherwise, you please make a reference to the cabinet and get exempted that defence civilian employees will be exempted from all labour laws of this country. They all will be slaves. They have to work according to the mercy of the officers. You do that, then this conciliation and trade unions are not required. Therefore, sir, umpty number of demands are there. These demands are not new. These MES authorities, they don't even bother to respond to the representations of the federations. They don't bother. They totally ignore. You ask for a meeting, they will not grant you meeting. Naval authorities, you ask for the meeting, you represent to them, they will not bother. A DGQA, they will say, I am convening JCM meetings. JCM meetings are different. Strike demands can be discussed in the JCM. Strike demands is under the ID Act. That has to be discussed separately. So all these type of decisions which they are taking, a restructuring of DGQA, a closure of our ordnance depots, introducing GOCO model in the army-based workshops, abolition of posts arbitrarily without discussing with us, and allowing outsourcing in the permanent and perennial jobs by these MES authorities and these naval authorities, and the so many pending grievances of the employees, so many grievances which we have. I am not going to repeat all those things because it is there in the strike notice. None of these demands are being settled. Yesterday late evening, we have received a letter from the DRDO headquarters. We are prepared to hold a meeting with the federations on the strike demands. Please give us a mutually acceptable date. The strike may be deferred. Yesterday evening, because they must have come to know that the CLC has convened a conciliation meeting today. So to cover up, they have given a letter. At least they have given a letter to the federations. We are prepared to meet you. We are prepared to discuss the demands with you. Please let us decide a date, mutual basis. At least that much courtesy at the last minute the DRDO headquarters have shown. What about the Navy? What about MES? What about the DGQA? What about the DGAQA? What about the EME? What about AOC? What about Air Force? Nothing. We do not know. Is this the seriousness they are giving to a strike notice? Is this the seriousness they are giving to the grievances and the issues of the defence civilian employees? Can an IR mechanism work like this, sir? And we people, many central government officers, even today is working with 50% employees. But have you ever thought of all the defense establishments are working with 100% strength. And daily we are getting report 15 to 20 of our workers in these units are tested COVID-19 positive. Many have died. Many have died. None of the defense establishments 50% strength is there. 100% strength is working. And if you go to DOPNT instruction that you see DOPNT has issued only 50% employees you keep on rotation basis. No. This is not applicable for industrial establishments at all. This is only for central government offices. Central government offices, the working atmosphere, the working condition, and in an industry where we are working in forge shop, in furnaces, in cleaning work, in chemical cleaning work, in chemical repairing work, in chemical production work. Our working conditions is far much poorer when compared to central government offices. Majority of the offices are nowadays centrally air conditioned. But you know what is our condition? You go to Atmanswar Ambajari during the month of May, outside temperature will be 50 degrees, 45 degrees. Inside temperature will be 56 because he is working in the furnace. So some blood should come from their heart, no? To see the sufferings of these employees. 50% of the employees has retired on MES, and one MES worker is doing two MES workers' job now. You see, that is why CLC sir, demands is on the one side. The attitude of the Ministry of Defence and their subordinate headquarters, this attitude has to change. They should understand they are in a democracy. They should understand there are 4 lakh defense civilian employees, and majority of them are industrial employees governed under the various labor laws of this country, governed under the ILO conventions of the universe, of the world. And if they don't bother, if they ignore us, then what else we can do? We have to go for the strike only. What else is the option available with us? On the 9th, you have taken a very positive approach, and therefore the ordnance factory strike has been deferred. Because you as a conciliation officer, you have taken pain, and based on your advice and guidelines, both the side, official side and the staff federations, some sort of an interim arrangement has been made, so the defense production is not disturbed. Our workers are all involved night and day in defense production. Similarly, in all these army units, MES, Navy, Air Force, DRDO, DGQA, depots, EME workshops, Air Force, such type of a situation has to come, and that is in your hands. And we have got full confidence in you. We leave it to your wisdom, and we very firmly believe that while concluding the deliberations of this second conciliation meeting, we will be able to break the ice and reach some sort of an understanding where the defense civilian employees get a feeling that there is a Ministry of Labour, there is a conciliation officer sitting to take care of our interest. So such type of an atmosphere you may please create. With this, I am not prolonging my speech on these strike demands. If required, then with your permission, I will intervene. Thank you so much for your patient hearing, sir.
Just one thing before we give an opportunity to address the team. Perhaps as a conciliation officer, we all, whether it's the army or the senior staff of the defense establishment, or whether we are central government or state government or any PSU is concerned, first we are all citizens of our India, and it is our constitution gives a very clear mandate. The welfare of workers and the national interest is the supreme for all of us in all establishments wherever we are, and I'm very sure nobody thinks that way. If somebody is civilian, somebody is army, as I told you last time, I also make the worker class family, but I don't find any difference between when I studied in the Kendriya Vidyalaya where most of the army officers or army personnel fit studied over there. I never got a feeling that I am from the protestant background. That is not there. But there definitely, as you said, your demand, your other things are that people don't listen. Even if somebody gives a question during that itself is also quite good for the workers that I agree. But before I come out with my final solution for today's presentation, I would like to listen to the employer side of like Mr. Defense also. So let me not complete with all things that I can, while coming up, I can give my final thing on that. So I'm not commenting on the detail of what you said and what Pataka said. And what other great union leaders are going to speak up. Like Mr. Now I give opportunity to